Fargani, Islam, Salam, Hetepu, Gino Laco Ninani, Chief Nogu Bandele Alamin, back again. And tonight, we doing a late night sip, man. So I got the red cup. And I'm going to start going live. I'm trying to go live every Tuesday discussing, current events from, I guess, the melanated lens, if you will, because I got a lot of stuff to talk about. I got a lot of shit on my mind, so, uh, you know, as the chief here, uh, I want to start dropping some stuff. So, I'm gonna try to wait and see, what's going on. I'm gonna, but you know what? Before I do that, toast up, Ashe to the ancestors, Ashe. You know, we giving libations to the ancestors, and before anybody get on the podcast, real quick, all right. All right, all right, all right. Peace, peace. All right. Wanted to bring out this book. Check it out. This is the latest addition to information. This right here is the Holy Ancestral Covenant. And this book right here is for all indigenous people who are practicing their indigenous religious values, who really don't come under the religious fold that you so normally used to. We don't have a book like, a lot of us practice Voodoo or we practice Yoruba or any of those type of indigenous religions, even Hoodoo, if you will, and we do use other people's texts. But this right here is a spiritual book for us, so that we can have a spiritual book legally binding us. Okay, so I just wanted to shout that out. Get your book right here on Amazon. Okay, you can check it out on Amazon, or you can give me a call. You can give me a call, 513 486 6115, and I can order you a copy, okay? So, that's enough being said. But like I said, man, I'm just kind of trying to see what's going on. Um, just seeing if anybody gonna come up online, and if they don't, in a couple of seconds, I'm gonna go ahead and get into this. But before we even get into any of these video, shout out to my man King L Bay. Big ups to King L Bay. He out here doing it real big out here in the streets. Um, you can check out King L Bay. He got a book on Amazon as well, man, dealing with child support. So big ups to my man. Um, but what we about 3-4 minutes in. I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna wait any longer. A lot of people gonna do. Hopefully, a lot of people do playback. So we gonna get into this video. Um, for real, this is my second video anyway. So I don't know, but we gonna get into some. I really want to talk about these UFOs, man. I want to talk about these UFOs, and the reason why I want to talk about these UFOs is because um, I ain't gonna lie. For many years, I was talking about UFOs. I was I was an X Files fan, still am to this day. You know, um, and X Files opened my eyes up to a lot of different stuff. It opened me up to a lot of different understanding of what had been going on the planet, and and it opened me up to how far the government might go to cover it up. You know. So, a lot of these Christians out here, man, they still stuck on there is no aliens. You know what I mean? Like, or there's no extra extraterrestrial phenomenon going on. They want to believe that the Earth is, the center of the universe, and they want to believe that, God made this Earth just in the middle of nowhere, and there's nobody else out here. So, a lot of Christians do not want to accept the fact that there are other life forms out here in the universe. They don't want to accept it. And it's been I feel like it's been a major cover up. Like I said, I'm an X-Files fan. I don't know if you guys watch Project Blue Book, but Project Blue Book is a good show. It's on the History Channel. Project Blue Book really is like where it should start. Like we should start with there, because Project Blue Book deals with all the alien, or I won't say alien, but all the UFOs. Okay, and the reason why I'm mentioning this is because on the news, if you guys have been watching the news, this is current events. They have been talking about UFOs. The Pentagon has come out and said that there are identified flying objects. Now, the word and the terminology that they use are UAPs, okay? So, UAPs or UFOs they have no idea what they are. Okay? So, I'm like, okay, I get a text last night from one of my boys saying that they've disclosed that there's UFOs and nobody cares. And I wonder about that. Like, why we don't care enough about the UFOs anymore. And one thing I think the reason why is because, like, they've been hitting us with aliens and space and everything for so long that a lot of us have either become accustomed to it, and it's like we don't even care no more. And then you got half the people who are just still lost in the sauce. So I feel like people are not really taking heed to what's going on. The Pentagon came out with this. I saw an episode of 60 Minutes earlier, like yesterday or today. And they got people on 60 Minutes talking about there are objects that they have no idea what they are. Okay? Shout out to everybody, man. If I'm getting a lag, let me know. Like if things is all sketchy on the other side. I'm trying to make sure. This is my second video live, so I'm just trying to make sure everything goes smooth. But anyway, I'm telling you, 60 Minutes on TV got ex-military, not ex-military, but ex-federal people in government, ex-military, that are actually coming out and saying that they have seen unidentified flying objects. They have actually been, investigated by the government, and after investigation, they do not. Let me see. We live among aliens already. True indeed. True indeed. Now, see, I want to go into that too, because if the fact that they coming out with aliens now, like they finally, after all these years, they actually trying to say that these are they're not saying they're extraterrestrial, but some of them are saying that they don't know. Like they're saying it ain't Chinese. They're saying it ain't Russian. Okay. So they don't know what it is. And extraterrestrial is a very high possibility among one of the things. So they're not ruling out extraterrestrial, and I feel like they kind of like trying to slowly put it out there. So they kind of saying, oh, we got these identified flying objects out here. Soon they'll be able to say, hey, we know that they're not from anybody on Earth. Okay, the way because you gotta watch 60 Minutes. Okay, y'all gotta watch 60 Minutes. 60 Minutes had these guys on here talking about they had people that were pilots. Okay, that got on there and said they tracked these ships. They tracked them, and they went and saw that they didn't have no propeller system. They didn't have no wings. They said they was big as their planes, but they didn't have any wings. They didn't have any propellers, anything like that, any propulsion system. They was quiet, and they were able to move fast. One of the guys said that as he went down, because it was like hovering over the water, as he went down to investigate, he said that the ship started to mimic its movement at the same time, going up as they were going down to meet him. And they said that he said that it just disappeared in thin air. Okay, so I'm not making this up. This is what they said on 60 Minutes, and so that gets me to thinking like, okay, they're trying to put us, they're trying to slowly get us accustomed to the possibility of alien people being here. So one of the guys, like in the chat room, they said they already been here. Well, think about this. If we talking about they been here, we got Anunnaki, we got so many, we got so much information that comes from religious texts that mimics alien or extraterrestrials more than it does anything else, more than God or whatever it is. You understand what I'm saying? So the fact that, yeah, there's been aliens among us. I'm gonna tell you the good book. Everybody, y'all done read it before, but Beheld the Pale Horse. In Beheld the Pale Horse, the man talked about the meeting with Eisenhower, or was it Truman? It might have been Truman, but the fact that they said that the aliens met with the government and gave them a rundown on everything. Showed them the present, showed them the past, was able to do these things. And they've had it under wraps. Now, my thing, y'all, saying, why is it important that they come out with it now? Why are they having disclosure on it now? Peace, peace. Peace, peace, peace. Barigani. Yes. So my question to y'all is, why is the government coming out with this now? After all these years. Like I said, who watched Project Blue Book? We've had thorough investigations on UFOs or UAPs since the 50s. And I'm originally from Dayton, Ohio. And the fact that when I watched Steven Spielberg's his miniseries, I watched Project Blue Book, and like I said, I'm X-Files fan. And all of those shows, all of them mentioned Dayton, Ohio. Dayton, Ohio was where you got Wright-Patt Air Force Base. And they all mentioned Wright-Patt Air Force Base as having in the Hangar 7 some alien stuff. And if you watch Project Blue Book, they had an episode where they actually did that. And in Project Blue Book, the show, they are stationed in Dayton, Ohio. They stationed in Fairborn. You feel me? Dayton's in the house. So what I'm saying is that there has been a cover-up of alien. And I feel like, now I don't want to get no controversy, but like the flat earth theory, which I'm not going to get into it tonight if it's true or not. I got my doubts on flat earth, but because flat earth has become popular, I feel like it has put a damper on our, outlook on aliens. Because flat earthers, tell me if I'm wrong, a lot of flat earthers say we're in a dome and that nothing can get out. And, so they don't believe in aliens almost. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't even believe in aliens. So, you know what I mean? It's like, I mean, come on. I don't, like I said, I don't want to get into the flat Earth theory, but now that the government is coming out with this, I want to know why it seemed like in 2021 it's okay for you to talk about aliens. And, because, I mean, the Christian movement is still strong. There's a lot of people who don't even care about aliens at this point. There's a lot of people who don't even, believe in aliens. They don't even believe in that. Even though I feel like over the years, society has been prepping us for aliens. Like, look, like what's a major popular show is Ancient Aliens. Now I don't. Now y'all, we can talk about Ancient Aliens too, real quick, because Ancient Aliens, I feel like they do try to make a lot of the ancient information or ancient architecture. They make it all alien. All this stuff is alien, and that's the big debate. I've been watching what's his name, Tahuti, brother Tahuti, on he does a lot of blog. He's been on the show with Killer Priest podcast. Now he say that Homo sapiens did not build the pyramids. He doesn't say that aliens did it per se, but he said it wasn't Homo sapiens. He said he don't believe that humans had the ability to make pyramids. And so that would suggest that possibly aliens had something to do with pyramids. Okay? And shit, I mean, I can't necessarily prove that aliens didn't do it, but I mean, I can't prove that they did it. But the fact, like I said, that all of like the ancient Sumerians talk about the Anunnaki, they talk about those from Anu coming down here. Who built them? I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like, my personal theory is that man had the ability to make them somehow, and we haven't figured out how man made them, because I think that they was communicating with other with aliens. Now, I can believe that. I believe that man has been in contact with forces outside of them, but personally, I don't think that man had to go into a spaceship. I think the concept of spaceships are like very, very archaic, very primitive in the theory of thinking about how to move in between time and space. People don't understand, like, when our ancient people use like ayahuasca, peyote, or some kind of hallucinogenic mushrooms, even maybe, when they use those psychedelic type of herbs, it put them in a state of time between time and space. Okay, and if you do any studying on ayahuasca, there are several accounts of where people go beyond time and space. What they say? What about the Pentagon admitting a COVID? Damn, I gotta read that again, bro. I gotta read that one. But I know it tripping to look. By the way, brother, go look at Egypt. You'll find more than your mind. You know what? That's one thing. I need to go to Egypt. I have not been to Egypt. You know what I'm saying? I look at the scholars. I want to go with one of our African scholars to Egypt and do my studying there. But like I said, I'm not against the fact that I feel like the pyramids have technology that are not understood today. Okay? And like I said, right, ancient Alo is for bozos. I feel the same way. Like, I mean, like the dude, the nigga got his hair in this crazy shit. I mean, like, they really make it look foolish, and I think that's like propaganda in the fact that they try to make ancient aliens look crazy, and then for real, I feel like it's it's there to try to take away the work of the ancient melanated people, Africans who were there, who could have built that, or who had help. I personally think that, like I said, that humans were in contact with beings that were from a higher source, aka aliens, and they were able to get the technology. They were able to teach them how to do these things. They were able to teach or help them do these things. And like I said, it wasn't through a spaceship. It wasn't through any physical like devices. Like you didn't. They wasn't like a car to go in space and try to go out. But going back to what I was saying about ayahuasca, when you look at all the people or a lot of people who was on ayahuasca, they get to talking about the how they go beyond the stars. They go to a place where there's no stars, there's none of that. Okay? And they said that they come in contact with another being. Okay? And so that puts me in mind like a fifth dimensional being, sort of like a fifth dimensional being, man. Like what ancient right, like a fifth dimensional being or more, because it reminds me of what's that Contact? I think it was Contact, where she went into talking with the beings and whatnot, and came back, and it was like 5 minutes passed by. Like I feel like it was similar to that. Like the experiences that I hear, like when you look at what's that, the Rogan show, he's had his experiences and whatnot. But these people talk about talking to beings. Now, if our ancestors used that with a and being that they had a different mind, hey, Richard Pryor, I'm not. Yeah, exactly. Don't ignore Egypt. You can't ignore Egypt. You can't ignore Egypt. I mean, like the fact that Egypt, just alone that they have their pyramids set up like the stars, okay? Because they got them set up where they are imitating the stars up there in the Sirius and the Belt of Orion. What I mean, like, what purpose are they doing that for? And now I'm about to go on a tangent, but this is for Jehovah's Witnesses out there. If anybody know who Jehovah's Witnesses are, the man who started that, his name is Charles Taze Russell. Okay, Charles Taze Russell is on record of going to Egypt and measuring the pyramid base, and he said that every cubic there was a marking, and that there was a historical element, something historical happened every marking that he found. He believed, now check this out. The man who started Jehovah's Witness, he believed that God lived on Orion. Okay? He believed God lived on Orion. Charles Taze Russell. Charles Taze Russell. Charles T. Russell. He believed that God lived on Orion. Now, I mean, like, when you get to talk about beings living somewhere, in my opinion, that's a being. That's not God. That's a being. So for him to believe that God lived on Orion lets me know that he was very open to alien understanding. And that was coming out of Kemet. Because, like I said, I mean, you got Sumeria, Kemet, you got Canaan, all them. Okay? You really got all of those ancient civilizations that mimic space. They mimic constellations. They mimic all that. And for them to have the information and knowledge that they have just on the stars, I feel like it's more than just them observing them from afar. Okay? The stories talk about interaction between, the Bible talk about angels. Which where the like I always ask a Christian, like, because Christians don't believe in aliens, but they believe in angels. And so I asked a Christian, well, where do angels come from? And they're going to say from heaven. So I'm like, well, what is heaven? Where is heaven? The heavens are in space or up in the sky. So angels coming from heaven or space coming to earth to interact with man. Okay? Those those are aliens. So I do believe that extraterrestrials or aliens have been on the planet Earth for thousands of years. Okay? I do believe that. And that it has been written by what we call today religion, and that these religious people would rather look at it from a small perspective. You saying they might live here? I'm saying that there are extraterrestrials that would definitely be on the planet now. Like, if you look at even like the Anunnaki, Inky, and all that, and these people, they came here. They said they came here to mine the gold for their purpose, to take that stuff back to their planet, to fuel their needs. Do you really think that they all left? Do you think that the Anunnaki were the only people here? I mean, like, I haven't even talked about the Dogons. You got the doggone people, okay, in Central Africa today that claim that the people come from the stars, the doggone stars, the Sirius. So, and they know how a star that you can't even see with the physical eye, it's dead. That star is like a dwarf or whatnot. How it orbits around the other star, and they have a festival every 50. I want to say 56 years. Every 56 years or not whatnot, they have a festival, and they imitate the how the star orbits around the other star. How that planet or whatnot orbits around Sirius B. They have a festival to acknowledge Sirius B. And come on, man, you can't even see it with a telescope. So-called white man didn't start looking at the stars and notice it till, in the past 100 years. And these doggons have been doing this stuff for hundreds of years. So where did they get this information from? See, the thing about it is, other people, particularly melanated people, ancestors, were able to stay in touch with the ancestral realm. Okay, they was able to. Let me see, my phone be tripping, man. They were able to stay in contact with the astral plane. Okay. They was in tune. They was in tune with nature, but they was in tune with the astral plane. They was in tune and understood there were other dimensions besides this dimension. Our ancestors didn't call it fifth dimension. Okay. Our ancestors would have just called it whatever they called it. Okay. But they understood there was fifth, sixth, seventh, eight different dimensions of space and time. And because of that, they were able to travel between those through using what we call drugs. Ayahuasca, peyote, whatever it was. They were able to astral travel or project themselves outside of the physical body into other realms. And when they did that, they ran into other beings. Okay, those beings would be intraterrestrial or extraterrestrial beings, okay, on other planes. Because we tend to think that the only aliens there are the aliens that are coming in the sky, coming in these so-called UFOs or whatnot. But the fact is that intraterrestrial beings are not from here necessarily either. They're from other planes of existence, and they're here too, and they go back and forth. And our ancestors would build, like, to me, like, we talk about the pyramids. The one brother was talking about the pyramid. I mean, who's who's not to say that the pyramids were not used to move back and forth through terrestrial plane? You know, because we had a different understanding and perception of time and space, where Europeans think from a different side of the brain, and they're more analytical on their approach on how they look at things. So when they look at space, they only look at space from the outside perspective. They're looking at outside perspective. Okay, they've got things set up where you look outside of yourself for things. So you look outside of yourself for religion. You look outside of yourself for space. You look outside of yourself to look for the universe, when all these things really are within. Okay. The ability, like, the ability of the brain, the ability of the mind and the brain, the fact that there's parts of the brain that we have that certain animals, the animals do not have. Okay. The ability to meditate. I mean, how many animals can meditate? Now, I'm not saying that an animal can't, but I mean, how many animals can't meditate? Can meditate. We right? They say there might be 500 billion galaxies in the universe. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, if the mind is limitless, like if we can think beyond certain concepts ourselves, I mean, what makes us not believe that the universe is not a mind with different concepts? Because at the end of the day, I mean, Big Bang or not, this is the mind of an intelligent being that we are in. And that there are other thought forms that were created outside of what we know on this physical plane. I mean, really, do we even really know that there's no life form on Saturn? Do we really know that there's no life forms on Saturn? Because we think of life forms as a physical human being breathing water, breathing in air, drinking water. But what if there's an old movie that Ice Cube did, and he called it Ghost on Mars. Ghost on Mars. Now, ghosts are supposed to be dead, but ghosts are a physical form in the grand scheme of things. They're just on a different dimensional level. So what I'm saying is, if there are beings that can move on dimensional levels, they would move on different planets. They could move from planet to planet and not really be affected by the physical weather on the planet. Do you think a thought image has matter? I definitely believe that thought has matter. Thought is matter. Okay. Pretty much, just because we can't see something doesn't mean that it does not matter. You know what I mean? I mean, like, we can't see atoms, but it's there. We can only see atoms when, they clump up together and create, this cup. But if they weren't clumped up, we wouldn't see this atom. We wouldn't see the molecules. So, I mean, like, thought is physical to me because it can be intercepted by other dimensional beings. And that goes back to when a Christian would say, or people say that when you try to, like, when you want to do better for yourself. When you want to do better for yourself and say, oh, I don't want to, I'm going to stop eating, I'm going to stop smoking cigarettes, or I'm going to stop doing this. And you just thought it. That thought go into the universe and it's heard. It's intercepted as a challenge. Well, if that wasn't physical, then what was? Okay? What is? If it's not physical, it can be picked up. Okay? Thought, shit, I mean, just let's keep it real. A thought can be picked up by another human being. Your energy is a thought. Thought is energy. Okay, it's an electric. It's kind of an electric thought. A thought is kind of be electric. You can't see it, but it can be transmitted. Okay, so if it can be transmitted, or it's physical, it has some physical element to it. It's like gas. I mean, water can be in the form of physical. It can be in the form of gas. Gas can be a vapor. It may not be seen or very hard to see. But a lot of us get caught up on if we can't see it, then it's not physical. And we understand scientifically and spiritually that that's not necessarily the case. Okay. So what I'm saying is there are beings that would have evolved. And see, people don't understand that beings could have evolved way we evolved way before we did. Okay, like human beings on the planet today have went through catastrophes which have made it fall and not be as advanced as it once was. Like Christianity set back humanity, they say 1,000 years because they didn't want you to know any technology. They destroyed all of the advances that the Greeks, Egyptians had made. So just think if you've got beings that have not been tampered with and they've been able to advance themselves over thousands of years, that they would be at a time or a place that they would have a better concept of time and space. They would have a better understanding of how to move around the world or around the universe without having to get into a vessel. Or even if they did get into a vessel, they was able to move through time and space in a way that is very unconventional to us today. Okay, so so like I said, man, it's these UFOs. I think that we're about to see a new age, and the new age is going to reveal to us another type of being. Like we're going to actually go into a time and place now where it's actually possible that there are other beings. I mean, look at the fact that man is trying to get to Mars. Okay, man is making these strides. Allegedly, some people don't believe, that man is doing it. Some people don't believe that man is going to Mars. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, a flat earther doesn't believe that there's nothing can get off this planet. Like, you can shoot, they got pictures of them shooting rockets in the sky and just falling down because it hit the dome. It go boom, boom, and come back down. You understand? So they believe that. But let's just say, hypothetically, that man is going to Mars. That man is looking to go to Mars. They've been talking about going to Mars. They've been doing it. They've been in space a lot more. And I think that the more that they've been interacting in space, the more that they've seen. The fact that my mind definitely has always been different. But Dr. Deborah Blair, he the one, man. Like Dr. Deborah Blair is, Ashe, rest in peace to our great ancestor. But Dr. Deborah Blair, you got Dr. Deborah Blair, you got Phil Valentine, even Malachi Z. York. I mean, for those who hate on Malachi Z. York, I mean, these brothers all talked about aliens. I mean, they all talk about. Dr. Blair is very into interdimensional beings. He was one of the first brothers that introduced me to that thinking. Like his stories about how he seen them. Like he's seen extraterrestrial beings. You know what I'm saying? So, that, to me, the fact that if you got extraterrestrial beings coming in and off, on and off the planet, I definitely believe that aliens been here. I do believe that there are beings that are not human are here. You can call them fourth dimensional beings, fifth dimensional beings, sixth, seventh, eighth, 10th dimensional beings. There are dimensional beings, I believe, on all different levels. Our ancestors called them spirits. Our ancestors saw them. Our ancestors might have even put them on the wall. Like, where does Tahuti come from? You know what I'm saying? Where did Tahuti come from, man? Tahuti brought weapons. Bobby Hemmett, give shout out to Bobby Hemmett, man. All of them. Bobby Hemmett, definitely. But I'm like, who was here doing that? Who is Tahuti? Where did Tahuti come from? You understand what I'm saying? Where did Tahuti come from, man? Like, where did these beings come from? And I have to think about that. You know, Dr. Deborah Blair, all them, and like I said, it's his brother named Tahuti. Tahuti, he been on Saw Netter. He been on Saw Netter. He went against what's the brother name? Brother Jabari. He went against Brother Jabari, and allegedly he beat him. I mean, like, he's real calm and he calculated. But I mean, he was. I mean, like, who built the pyramids, and if they wasn't human, and who was Tahuti? Tahuti is some higher being giving man mathematics, okay, technology, okay, teaching them stuff that they didn't know. You see what I'm saying? If you even want to go the Christian route, Enoch, you know what I'm saying? Enoch went up in the wheel. I mean, not Enoch, but well, Enoch did go up, but Ezekiel was one of them that went up in the wheel, allegedly. So I mean, like, it is not far fetched, and I don't understand why religious people, particularly the Christians, don't believe in extraterrestrials. Like, how many of y'all Christians and don't believe in extraterrestrials? Tell me why there is no extraterrestrials. How come there is nothing out there? Explain to me. Explain to me, what are these UFOs or these UAPs that the government is talking about? Okay, getting back to that, the government. I'm talking about Senator Rick. What's his name? Senator Rubin. What's that? Rubio. Senator Rubio was on 60 Minutes saying that he want a full investigation on the UFOs. They said that they feel like it's a national security problem. Hey, he said, but the Holy Ghost is valid though. Hey. See, I mean, is that what the Christians believe? They believe the Holy Ghost, but they can't believe in aliens. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like the reason why Christians don't believe in aliens is because they still stuck on what the Catholic Church told them. The Catholic Church told them that the earth was the center of the universe. You know, and if you notice something, a lot of the flat earthers are Christian. Because they definitely use the Bible as a reference to why the earth is flat. And it's interesting that they believe in the Bible, which is, to me personally, is not a historical book. The Bible is a book of mythologies, a book of stories. Do West Africans or indigenous believe in other worlds? Like I said, I believe, like we talked about the doggone, Dogon, doggone, the doggone tribe. They have their story of Nomo, the god Nomo. They said that they came from the stars. They call Sirius the dog stars. Okay, so there is definitely story of it. I mean, Egypt is African. I mean, you know, we want to say they're Arab now, but we all know that Egypt, Kemet, is an African civilization. Okay, the doggone are said to be priests from Egypt that left. Okay, and went down into Central Africa. But they are also said to have said that. Now, you've got, what's the brother name? Anybody know what's his name? Mwata Credo. He just passed. I can't get his name right. I know Dr. Ike. I mean not Dr. Ike. David Ike talked about him. Now before y'all get on to David Ike, I'm not a prognosticator of David Ike, but I do believe that David Ike did stumble on certain information that revealed alien activity. But white people, so-called white people, these pale people, they don't always get the story right. They don't always get the story right. Okay? It's the doggone in me. You feel me? That's what I'm saying. Like, it's the dog in me. That, don't, shoot, I'm not going to get into George Clinton, man. We go on forever. But George Clinton was ahead of his time. George Clinton and Sun Ra. Everybody, who know about Sun Ra out here in them streets? Who didn't watch Sun Ra? Sun Ra, I feel like George Clinton talk about how he was influenced by Sun Ra. Sun Ra got videos talking about how he come from another planet and how he coming back for the blacks and take them somewhere else because they not wanted here on Earth. Sun Ra coming out of spaceships. I mean, what do you think George Clinton and them was doing? You understand? But the doggone tribes, look up the doggone tribes, man. Look up the doggone tribes. Europeans is baffled by their understanding of the stars. They're baffled. They don't understand how they got rituals where they rotate around themselves the same way that the star, how Sirius B rotate around the star. Come on. It's facts. How they know? Okay? I mean, it is very, to me, it's very possible. It's very, very possible that there's alien contact with ancient melanated people. They gave technology, that they showed them certain ways, that they was able to guide them on certain aspects of life. It's not far-fetched that the pyramids, that the mounds, all these things was, brought up. What did it say? We're only here to learn and get out of here. Hey, I got you. Like, this is the school, they call this the school Earth. Earth is like a school. Being here in this third dimensional body is like to learn. So I've even heard that, spirits have gone from planet to planet in this solar system. That we've gone from planet to planet as spiritual bodies to learn certain things. And so I really do feel like there probably are beings on, like Saturn, Jupiter. There are beings that are there and they wouldn't be detected. I don't know what technology that they would have that would probably be able to detect these type of things. I mean, it's like you on Mars, they trying to find beings there. Now, let's talk about Mars for real. Let's talk about Mars. You tell me Mars don't have pyramids on them? Huh? You telling me that Mars don't have pyramids? Are you telling me that scientists, because if you don't believe me, scientists say that they have found every element on Mars that would lead back to having life on Mars. Okay? They've said that. They found water. They found traces of air. Okay? They found elements that could lead to Mars having had life. They say it's like going to a house. You're looking for civilization and you find a house and nobody's there. It's like, well, it had to be civilization because this house is here. That's how they're looking at Mars. They're like, okay, there's enough evidence here that there had to be life. And for whatever reason, it's gone. Okay? Now, there's movies out there like Mission to Mars. I think one of you brothers mentioned Mission to Mars. Mission to Mars gives this, like if you watch that movie, it talks about how something happened on Mars and the aliens had to leave Mars. Or not the aliens, but the original Martians had to leave Mars and come somewhere else. And so it's not to say that they didn't come to Earth. It's not to say they didn't come to Earth. You know, so the question I want y'all to answer is why Mars so important? Is it because are they trying to go to Mars just because it's the closest planet allegedly? That is, but don't you think that it's the next planet out, the closest planet to us, without being too hot? Because if you go the other way, if you go to Venus, Venus is too hot for it. Now you understand that the European has got to find somewhere that is a little bit cooler than where it is here because it's getting a little hot here. They say that the Earth is moving closer to the sun. And this is what I've been hearing for a long time. You know, Brother Emmett, Phil Valentine, all of them used to talk about us moving closer to the sun. And the fact that Mars is probably taking the same position that Earth was, that they're looking to go there to find a suitable place to live. So they've been on Mars, and they got rovers up there, you know, trying to find the spot where they're going to put their new hotel. What's our brother who got SpaceX and got the Teslas? You know, they're trying to get up there. You know what I mean? So it's not far-fetched. Hey, peace to Jeremiah L. Jewel Pookrum, man. Jewel Pookrum, man. That's another sister, man. All them, I call them the VHS days, man, because I watched all them on VHS, man. Jewel Pookrum, man. She definitely is blow your mind. You know, with her understanding of the physical body and how we can live forever. You know, that's another thing, man, that we ain't talked about. But I always wonder, and I'm gonna leave on this note, but I always wondered why it seemed like aliens would live longer. They always say that aliens live longer. Okay, Sister Cesar. Now, Sister Cesar, y'all gotta get me hip to her, man. I gotta look her up. Is she on YouTube? Cause I ain't hip. I'm not hip to Sister Cesar. I don't claim to know it all. I mean, I've studied a lot. I've been studying for since '92. You know what I mean? I've been studying since '92. So I mean, but I don't know it all. I really don't. So give shout out for that. But like I said, I'm gonna leave on this note. Wonder why we only live 80, 90 years. 80, 90 years. Deborah Blair for sure. Why we only live 80, 90 years? It seemed like everybody else would live hundreds of years. But we only live 80, 90 years. Okay? Yeah, Brother Rayshawn, I'm gonna check it out and I'm gonna look him up. I'm gonna look the sister up when we get off of here, man. But I see everybody getting offline, man. I'm gonna get off here, man. Like I said, if you like, check out my other videos. I got a lot of videos on here. Thumbs up, please get some likes, and please subscribe because I'm gonna be dropping it every week. We're gonna have a topic. We're gonna get heavier into this. It's gonna be Sipping Tuesday, so we're gonna get on this knowledge and we're gonna have this juice of life. We're gonna give libation, okay? So appreciate everybody on here. Check me out in the next video. Until then, peace.